So I wanted to come on here and let you guys know that I actually have a story that's going to be created real soon at one of the, well, basically not at one of the, but at the fanfiction.net. And it's being done by basically somebody that I've talked about before here on the channel. And that would be Cyborg, the Cyborg Fox. And the story I have him doing is, well, something that's kind of in line with what he and others have done, if you will, what he and others have done. And unfortunately, one of them that did these kind of things apparently had passed away not that long ago, so his stories are still up, but I guess it's up to any of us to continue them in some kind of manner. But anyway, I asked the Cyborg Fox to do a story for me, and like I say, it's in tune with what he and others have been doing with Tails' character. And in case you guys don't know what I'm talking about, the Cyborg Fox, along with others, have been doing these stories to where Tails, you know, we'll put it this way, he gets it on with just about every known Sonic female character that's been around. You know, he literally gets it on. He gets it on with the likes of Sally, who in some of the stories is portrayed as his girlfriend. He gets it on with, you know, Vanilla. He gets it on with an older version of Cream. That's one thing they do want to make clear, is that they up the age of certain characters to make it more appropriate. He gets it on with Bunny, believe it or not. He gets it on with Alicia Acorn, Sally's mom. He gets it on with you know, with Rouge. He gets it on with Tikal, Julie Sue, Knuckles' girlfriend or wife, depending on the scenario. He gets it on with Percy and Stacy from Sonic Boom. He gets it on with Zoe. I think I said he gets it on with Amy as well. I think I mentioned her. I mean, you name the character, you know, from the female character that is from the Sonic franchise overall, and pretty much there's a good chance that these individuals, these writers like Cyborg Fox, and I think the other one is like Made in Nowhere or something like that, and J.W. Smith or whatever, these people have pretty much put him in that scenario of getting it on with them. I mean, they even, believe it or not, have him getting it on with his own mom from the Archie Sonic comics, Rosemary. That's right, he actually gets it on with his own mom from the Archie Sonic comics, Rosemary. And it's not just fan fiction stories about that. There's actual webcomics too. One webcomic that's being revised from its shorter version is called Mother Knows Best. I don't know how far that's going along, the revised version that is, but we'll soon see. But one other character that he's also been, you know, written into basically getting it on with is Sonic's mom from the Archie Sonic books, and that would be Bernadette Hedgehog. And what's interesting about one of the stories that I talked about is he gets it on with Bernadette at the request of Sonic's dad, Jules. That's right, he gets it on with Bernadette at the request of Jules, Sonic's dad, because Sonic's dad's roboticized, so he can't really give her the pleasure or the intimacy she wants because of that. And it looks like that the next portion of that's going to have basically Queen Alicia, Sally's mom from the comics as well, be the next one on the list. How they make that happen, I don't know. But yeah, what this has to do with what I requested with Cyborg Fox is quite simple. You see, I also have it requested with somebody else as well, and hopefully one of them will kind of get it done potentially down the line. But what the story is, it's like I said, it's in line with what they write. And the story basically goes like this. The description is Sonic and Jules are out for the weekend on a vacation, a father-son bonding thing. So Bernadette's home alone. And to kind of basically, kind of disrupt that home aloneness, if you will, she decides to ask Tails to come over and spend the weekend with her. And again, you got to remember, these stories have Tails at a more appropriate age where it wouldn't be so awkward. So she asked Tails to come and spend some time with her. Tails basically is unsure exactly why she would want this, but he does agree to do it. Unbeknownst to the fact that the only reason she wants him over is because she is going through a certain phase to where he is probably the only answer she can find to cure that phase. And that's all I'm going to say. So, yeah, I do have a story coming up real soon being done by Cyborg Fox and some others that hopefully, when it's all said and done, will be one of the more intriguing stories. I mean, the way I have it described is like this. The way I described it to Cyborg Fox is like this. Sorry about that, but like I said, basically the description that I gave him is, she invites him over and she starts to have that intimacy with him, and it gets to a point that basically once they get onto the bed, she basically one of the things that you have to do when you request a story with anybody, whether it's free or it's a commission, is you got to describe how certain things may go, like how certain scenes may go. Whether it's a story or a webcomic, you got to describe as best you can how things may go. So I basically described the fact that when she and Tails end up having that intimacy on the bed, that she crawls under basically after they remove everything, let's put it that way, she crawls under the blankets, under the sheets. It's like, like you see Tails up a half and everything, and she decides to go underneath the sheets, right? We've kind of seen that a lot, and read that a lot in shows, movies, books, and all that. Well, what I described to him is she goes under the sheets, but she goes under there to give a certain region of his some attention, right? Well, what I had him do, or what I asked for him to be written in there, is that she will stick her hands out. She won't stick her whole head out, like we've seen before. Like, somebody lifts it up, there's the head sticking out, right? No. I told Cyborg Fox that when you get to this moment, she goes under the sheets to give his lower region some attention. But then what you do is you have her stick her hands out. You have her stick her hands out, have her, while her head and all the rest of her body is still under the sheets, you have her stick her hands out, and she's just tracing around his body with her hands, and then she starts to take the gloves off her hands and toss them at Tails' head, if you will, and then she drags the arms back in underneath with the rest of her under the blanket or under the sheet, and then she starts to move around under the sheet while she's giving that lower region a little bit of time or a little bit more attention. You have her move around like she's just moving in different odd shapes and stuff. And then I told him what you do towards the end of that is you have her press her face up against the blankets, and you see like a visage / imprint of her face sticking out, and she kisses Tails on the lips through the blanket. Basically, it's a visage imprint of her face, kissing Tails through the blanket, and then you have them get a lot more intimate, more steamy intimate, if you know what I mean, by heading towards the showers. And that's all I said. Well, that's all I'm going to say here, But yeah, I just wanted to come on here to let you know I have a story I have a story that's in line with what I've talked about, in the works, and hopefully it'll be very soon. The way I've been able to decipher how he does these stories, the way the way I've been able to figure out how he, posts these stories, it's almost like it's every 2 weeks, if you will. It's almost every 2 weeks, 10 to 14 days, that he'll post a new story. Sometimes they even put up a poll asking, people, followers and all that, which story would we like to see him write next. And he can randomly pick a lot of them out of the long list that he has. And I asked him if he could consider mine for the next poll he does, if he does one. And he may or may not. It all depends. I'm not saying that if he chooses my story to be one of the stories to be voted on, that it's going to get chosen. But, I'm just saying, all I did was ask him. And if not, that's fine. I can wait. Patience is everything. But the way I'm figuring this out, I would not be surprised if mine shows up probably around the time the movie happens or a little afterwards. And that all depends on other things that take precedent, if you know what I mean. Other things will take precedent if they have to. But I just wanted to come on here and let you guys know the fact that I am doing that, having one of those stories done. And I know some people might think it's kind of wrong that, these kind of stories get made and everything, but the way I look at it is, one, you have a right to your opinion, and if Tails was portrayed younger, then yeah, I could see that. Like, if he was portrayed at the 12, 13, 11 years old kind of deal, which some incarnations depict him at, yeah, I can understand that. There's no doubt. But if the writers of the story come out and they say, hey, we're going to age up Tails, we're going to age up Cream to the appropriate ages so they could take part in this story in certain moments and scenes, then, that's understandable and acceptable, because you're not portraying the characters at the young ages that a lot of people feel they get portrayed at, if you know what I mean. If they want to stay, really true to the continuity and to the canon of whatever portion of the franchise that this takes place in. But, yeah, I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it as long as, they do follow that directive of age the characters up, certain characters up, to be able to take part, in the story, especially if it comes to certain intimate moments and scenes that get depicted, if you know what I mean. So, anyway, though, guys, I just want to come on here. I know this might have sounded a little weird and random as an audio video, but like I said, I just wanted to come on here, let you guys know about it. That's all I'm going to really say. Let me know what your thoughts are, though. Let me know what your thoughts are in the live chat where super chats and stickers are open. It would be appreciative if you can. Also, check me out at my Cash App at $BWRoses98. Also, check me out at Venmo at Brian-Walmer-2 to help support me there financially as well. Also, check me out at patreon.com/BWRoses. Also, check me out at BW Roses Discussions, all your favorite audio podcast locations. Got a couple of new audio podcasts up today, so check those out. And really, that's all I'm going to say. But again, let me know what your thoughts are. How do you feel about this? Do you think if they decide to age the character up, to age the character up to the appropriate age, that it's fine to do these kind of stories? Or do you think they should just create new original characters that are at that age that are more appropriate to be part of this? What are your thoughts? Let me know down below, like I said, as well as in the live chat, and I will talk to y'all later.